747-3733.
Number one on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB-FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
1-0 pitch. Stowers cracks that one out to center and deep. Siri is back. He looks up and it's gone. The Marlins waste no time. Kyle Stowers with a 2-run shot, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. 4-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Nice job, Carlos. Welcome. We're live from Lone Depot Park in Miami on an 87-degree, again, steamy Monday night in Miami. However, the roof and the walls are slammed and shut, and we'll play inside the comfortable air condition. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio, Fox Sports 940 Miami. Game 69 of 162, and fresh off their first sweep of the season, the Marlins played with an edge in their final series in Washington and completed their first winning road trip of the season at 5-4. The Marlins will now welcome in a couple of divisional opponents in the Phillies and the Braves for a 7-game homestand, starting with their ace, who may have figured it out in Sandy Alcantara. We are pumped to bring you game one of a 4-game set between the 42-29 Philadelphia Phillies and your now 28-41 winners of 3 in a row, Miami Marlins. Mick Abel, 23-year-old right-hander who debuted last May, toes the rubber for the 4th time this year for Rob Thompson's Phillies, and Sandy Alcantara, who flashed his old form the last 2 starts, collecting back-to-back quality starts, and most recently 6 shutout in Pittsburgh. He will make, and he's set to make, his 14th start of his 2025 campaign. First pitch slated for 6:40 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Monday night with Jack McMullen and Kelly Sacco. I'm Steven Strom. I fear we're going the distance. Let's get you a lineup for the show tonight. We thank you, as always, for your participation. We'll open here where both teams are at coming into Monday night. Clayton and Jack will preview game one of this 4-game set. Of course, we'll get you ahead of the count with the 2 guys on the mound today, Sandy Alcantara and Mick Abel. Jack and Kelly will jump in for segment 4. We'll discuss some of the storylines coming into tonight. Our Expo question of today at Marlins Radio, and Steve's guarantee will proceed. We'll do where both teams are at, and for the Phillies, they're 2.5 games back of the first-place Mets in the National League East. And the Phils had a hot start to the month of May. They went 19-9, but the beginning of this month, June, started wonky after dropping 6 of their first 7 games and dropping to 9 games over, panic in Philadelphia. And the way that the Mets were playing, the NL East deficit loomed large, but we know how baseball is. It's funny. It can change in a flinch, and that's sort of what happened here with the Phillies. They've won 5 of 6, and it's been their offense that's clicked. They've averaged 6 runs per game, team hitting .332 with the batting average, 7 home runs, and they've done it without Bryce Harper, who, by the way, Rob Thompson told reporters today, Harper will travel. He is here in Miami for this 4-game set with the Marlins. However, Harper has still not hit, and there's no timetable for his return. Harper's been out since late May with a right wrist injury. He took ground balls at first over the weekend. This will be a quick grab-and-go series for the Phillies. They'll play 4 here and head back. And again, Mick Abel, 23-year-old right-hander, 23-year-old right-hander, former 15th overall pick in the 2020 draft, will make his 4th start tonight in a spot where he's looking to respond. That's always the big question with these young arms. After giving up 3 solo shots against the Cubs in his last start, how will Mick Abel respond in his following start? We shall see. For the Marlins, after what felt like a month away from Lone Depot Park, the Marlins compiled a 5-4 road trip, and it started off losing back-to-back series to Tampa and Pittsburgh. They finished strong with a sweep in D.C. All but one game of their 9 were decided by 3 runs or less. And it felt like every night someone new stepped up. We saw Sandy Alcantara toss 6 shutout last Tuesday in Pittsburgh. We saw Agustin Ramirez hit a pair of home runs on Friday night. Jansen Junk on Saturday. Dane Myers in the bullpen, plus Yuri Perez had a bounce-back start in start number 2 of his 2025 year. And it hasn't been one guy in these wins. And tonight the Fish will look to win a season-high 4 in a row. And one quick note, by the way, they're also looking to hit their first home run in 240 ABs here at Lone Depot Park. May 20th was the last time a Marlin went deep. We mentioned McGable. He gave up 3 solo shots to the Cubbies in his last start. We'll see if the Marlins can snap that streak here tonight. Sandy Alcantara, he is the name of the game today. He will headline tonight. We will figure out what's been key for him. And coming up next, Jack McMullen and Clayton McCullough will discuss Sandy, their 3-game sweep over the Washington Nationals, and much more as we get you ready for a 6:40 first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Gone to junior college. 1-1. Line shot, left center field, up the alleyway. That's a base hit rolling all the way to the wall. Wagaman rounds third and scores. Norby getting the wave at third. Here's the relay, and Norby beats it. He scores, and going to second with a 2-run double is Dane Myers. It's a haymaker, and the Marlins have scored 4 times in the third. They lead it 6-0.
Do again, the runners go, and that one is a line shot past the dive of Abrams into left center field, a base hit. You got Stauer scoring from second. Hernandez breaks it down at third base, and it's an RBI single for Nick Fortes. Insurance for the Marlins. Their lead up to 5. It's 7-2 here in the top of the 5th.
1 tonight and found a way to win 12-4.
That one driven high in the air out to shallow left field. That's headed towards the triangle. You got the third baseman Tana calling for it, but it drops between the shortstop and the third baseman. Xavier Edwards was gunning for second base, and the throw came in from the left field line to get X at second. Garcia was covering the base. The throw beat Edwards by plenty. Hernandez, 2-2. James Wood laces one out to left field and deep. Hernandez is back. Hernandez reaching up. Heriberto Hernandez makes the catch. On the run, Hernandez jumps up and spears that ball right in front of the Marlins bullpen in left center field. Great play by Hernandez, and there's one away in the bottom of the 5th.
Come away with nothing.
That last sinker was at 100. 2-2. Wagaman lines one right side. That's
you deserve. Let us step up to the plate for you. Werner Hoffman, Greg and Garcia, where Miami's injured find their strength. Call us now or visit wernerhoffman.com. Let's win this together.
Great to have you aboard here on a Monday. Great way to start your week, by the way. It's awesome to be back in the 305. We're live from Lone Depot Park. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Kelly Sacco joins the crew this week. First of 7 here at home. Marlins looking to win 4 in a row. That will be the most wins consecutively this season for Miami. Sandy Alcantara will go opposite McAble. And to get you ready for every series opener, here was Marlins manager Clayton McCullough and our very own Jack McMullen.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Here with the skipper of the Marlins, Clayton McCullough. I know a fresh cut when I see one. Did you pay a visit to Juice the Barber today?
I did. I went, Juice tightened me up, does a great job. He asked about the beard. I said, you know what, Juice, we're going to keep the beard for a few more days until the Panthers take down the Stanley Cup. I got my hockey playoff beard until that's over. So hopefully just a couple more days. Get it done.
Hockey playoff beard, also maybe a winning streak beard. You got a sweep in Washington. That was a joy to watch this weekend. What went into that? Obviously, you caught a team, that was really on the skids in the Nationals, but what gave you guys the confidence and the ability to kind of put them away over the course of the weekend?
A few from wild games. The first one we did a great job of building a lead. And then they chipped away. They came back. I think our ability to still hang in there and tack on at the end, get a little bit of a cushion, and then finish it off. And you add in the rain delay from that game. It was Friday the 13th, and then the next day the quick turnaround was probably that second day. That win was probably most proud of because it was a quick turnaround. We were going with a bullpen game that day that was going to be, asking quite a bit of some guys to come back on, a very short turnaround, pitching back-to-back. And, what we got in the early part to then what Junk was able to do for, almost 6 innings was terrific. So I think it just took really all facets. We had to pitch well enough. And, we even that first game, we bent, but we didn't break. And then offensively, to see us with some guys in scoring position, get some hits the other way, some sac flies, using the big part of the field, was probably one of, I think, maybe 3 of our best days offensively, just in totality with how we were able to kind of manufacture some runs.
On Sunday, you guys selected a contract of a shutdown closer in Freddie Tarnok. It was his first save, regardless of level, in his professional baseball career. What is Freddie's role going to look like moving forward?
I think right now, Freddie certainly has been, throughout this year in the minor leagues, has been built up from a pitch count standpoint. So he's going to provide us ability to provide us some length. Yesterday was unique in a way that we were just, we had gotten a great job by Phillips and Bacher to get us to that point, and Freddie being the freshest arm that we had, and to go out there and get a save. And now I think it's nice. It's nice to have the comfort knowing that he is built up and can give us multiple innings if need be, while also, those guys that are built up to go short is not, as big a deal as it is to ask someone who's been going short and then to maybe get stretched beyond somewhere where, you feel comfortable having him do that.
Clayton McCullough pivoting to tonight. Sandy Alcantara obviously coming off his best start of the season. Last, 2 starts, I think it's 12 innings. He's walked 1 guy to this point, maybe 2 walks, and the strikeouts are there right now. What have you seen from Sandy's confidence in terms of the arsenal? Because it feels like the velocity's been there the entire year, right? The changeup has slowly but surely made its way into the strike zone a little bit more. But his mentality on the mound, what do you see when you watch him?
I see Sandy now, really believing in the conviction in the throw. And I think he always knew that he was healthy, right? But it was, it just takes some time to get back to being a pitcher again. And I think the last couple, and even the bullpens leading up to that, I think he's just gaining more confidence in himself that he can, locate the ball in places that he's more accustomed to doing. I think we just, like you said, the 1 walk is certainly a huge part of this. But I think that just goes to, Sandy's historically never been someone that walks a lot of people, right? So, I think just the overall quality of the throw has been more, I think, what he's used to, and I think what everyone else is accustomed to. Smaller misses, less spray. And I think that's just a sign of more of while he's healthy and, trending well, it's that, the ability to pitch is, usually always is the last part to kind of come back when you miss as much time as he did.
Even on non-start days, since the Colorado start, have you seen a little extra pep in his step?
Yeah, I think it was hard. I mean, look, to be honest, it was hard for him, right? I mean, you go through that arduous process to get back to compete again, and all that took. And then, you probably have a set of expectations that you're going to come out, and it didn't work out that way. And it does. It would shake anyone's confidence a little bit. And I think that, Sandy's a pro. What never wavered was how much he was working to, continue to dig himself out of that. And I think he just, as he's gone along this season, we've seen him feel more and more comfortable with in-starts, where he knew it was like an inning or two that just kind of, got away, or a couple pitches. So it just kept getting better. And I think from there, he's just like, you know what, okay, I know it's coming. And then to have a couple back-to-back like he did, I think now he's starting to okay, I know I'm getting closer. And you're seeing again a little more pep in his step, right? And great for him, right? Because that's he's worked his butt off to get back and also go through what he did the early part of the season now to be trending in the direction that he has been.
Clayton, last one for you. Very limited major league sample, but what's the plan of attack against a guy like Mick Abel, who has really loud stuff for the Phillies?
Yeah, it's a big fastball, and it plays up. It's a really quick arm. He's good at targeting the ball to the top of the strike zone, with the 4, and, he's got the 2-seamer with life to the arm side. Curveball down below with the slider. So I think it's all right, guys, we're going to have to be ready to hit the fastball. You're going to have to he's gonna target the ball to the top of the strike zone, and whatever that means for you to be able to get to it on time, and that's what's going to be probably the difference tonight, is our ability to do some stuff against his fastball and force him to have to lean maybe more on the secondary than he'd like to.
Clayton, appreciate it. Best of luck.
Okay, thank you,
Steven.
All right, excellent stuff right there, Jack McMullen and Marlins manager Clayton McCullough. Yeah, Mick Abel, prior to his start against the Cubs, which I had mentioned, he allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, getting that no decision in an eventual 8-4 loss to the Cubs on Tuesday. He gave up 3 home runs in the outing. Prior to that, a 0.79 ERA, 1 earned run over 11 1/3 in his first 2 career starts in the show. So big question with guys like this. How do they respond after they have somewhat of a letdown? I know it wasn't like a terrible start for Mick Abel, but the way it was going the first 2, he's probably thinking that way. So the Marlins here are looking to get after a 23-year-old right-hander. And the Marlins are hoping that Sandy Alcantara, after back-to-back quality starts, can will his team to 4 in a row. We've got plenty more to come on Marlins on Deck. Coming up next, though, we will talk Sandy Alcantara and Mick Abel. We'll deep dive into them, get you ahead of the count on the Marlins Radio Network.
Do again, the runners go, and that one is a line shot past the dive of Abrams into left center field, a base hit. You got Stauer scoring from second. Hernandez breaks it down at third base, and it's an RBI single for Nick Fortes. Insurance for the Marlins. Their lead up to 5. It's 7-2 here in the top of the 5th. 2-2. James Wood laces one out to left field and deep. Hernandez is back. Hernandez reaching up. Heriberto Hernandez makes the catch. On the run, Hernandez jumps up and spears that ball right in front of the Marlins bullpen in left center field. Great play by Hernandez, and there's one away in the bottom of the 5th. See.
The 1-1. Liner in the air to center field. It'll get down for a hit. Sanchez scores from third base, and Liam Hicks continues his hot hitting. He walked in the first. He's got an RBI single here in the third to tie the score at 1.
Obviously through. Brad Lord may have a tougher job.
1-0 line drive pretty deep to right field. Call going back, looking up, and that ball is gone. Jesus Sanchez crushes a long home run just to the left of the Nationals bullpen. It's his 6th homer of the year, and Miami moves to 3-1 in the 7th over the Nationals.
With their traditional home whites, they go with this light blue City Connect top. A 1 pitch. That one popped up right side of the infield, drifting into shallow right. Second baseman Garcia is calling for it, and Luis Garcia dropped the ball. Stowers comes in to score. Myers went to third base. Garcia nonchalantly was positioned to catch the final out of the inning, but he flat out dropped the baseball, and the Marlins add a run to their advantage. It's 4-1 here in the top of the 8th inning.
Blood sugar formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Hey, this is Nick Fortes, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
The one thing I've always preached since day one here, this is season 3 for me, I was always going to be authentic and real with you guys. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, and Kelly Sacco. Sandy Alcantara, when he threw well against the Rockies, you said, okay, like he had to throw well against the Rockies. When he threw 6 shutout against the Pirates, you thought, holy buckets, he might be back. If he comes out here and does a nice job, I would say a quality start, 6 innings, less than 3 runs, I am going to deem him back. Let's get you ahead of the count here with Sandy Alcantara and Mick Abel. We'll start with Sandy, 29-year-old right-hander in season 7 with Miami. He's got his swagger back a little bit. You're starting to see that pep in his step, like Clayton McCullough had said. Back-to-back quality starts. He comes into today a 3-7 record, 36 2/3, 7.14 ERA. But he did pick up the win last Tuesday in Pittsburgh. We mentioned it, 6 shutouts, 6 Ks. He retired his final 10 batters. It was his first win since April 12th. 2 starts this month in the month of June, 1-0, a 1.50 ERA, 12 innings, 10 Ks. But the big stat here, the 2 walks. That 2-seam and curveball been key for him. Career-wise against the Phillies, made 20 starts, 6-9, 3.78 ERA, 123 2/3 rather. He did face the Phillies earlier in the year on April 18th. It was one to be forgotten. 2 innings, 4 hits, and 6 runs. Alcantara will go opposite Mick Abel, 23-year-old right-hander, former 15th overall pick in the 2020 draft. He debuted last May for the Phils. He's made 3 starts, 1-0, a 2.35 ERA, 15 1/3, 14 Ks to 3 punchouts, or 14 Ks rather to 3 walks. In his debut, he went 6 shutout. He K'd 9 and tied Kurt Simmons for the most Ks by a Phillies pitcher since 1901. In his last start, we mentioned it, against the Cubs, 3 runs on 6 hits, 3 walks on Tuesday against Chicago. He gave up those 3 solo shots. He will throw a 4-seamer, a curveball, a sinker, a slider, and a change. Clayton McCullough mentioned that 4-seamer. He throws about 96 miles per hour consistently, and that curveball is his put-away pitch. Hitters are hitting 0.65 or 0.067 against that pitch. 8 of his 14 punch-outs have come on that curveball. So Sandy Alcantara will go opposite Mick Abel here at 6:40. We'll break. We'll get Kelly and Jack on next. We'll discuss storylines as the Marlins look to make it 4 straight on the Marlins Radio Network.
Gone to junior college. 1-1. Line shot, left center field, up the alleyway. That's a base hit rolling all the way to the wall. Wagaman rounds third and scores. Norby getting the wave at third. Here's the relay, and Norby beats it. He scores, and going to second with a 2-run double is Dane Myers. It's a haymaker, and the Marlins have scored 4 times in the third. They lead at 6-0.
Again, the runners go, and that one is a line shot past the dive of Abrams into left center field, a base hit. You got Stauer scoring from second. Hernandez breaks it down at third base, and it's an RBI single for Nick Fortes. Insurance for the Marlins. Their lead up to 5. It's 7-2 here in the top of the 5th.
1 tonight and found a way to win 12-4.
That one driven high in the air out to shallow left field. That's headed towards the triangle. You got the third baseman Tana calling for it, but it drops between the shortstop and the third baseman. Xavier Edwards was gunning for second base, and the throw came in from the left field line to get X at second. Garcia was covering the base. The throw beat Edwards by plenty. Hernandez 2-2. James Wood laces one out to left field and deep. Hernandez is back. Hernandez reaching up. Heriberto Hernandez makes the catch. On the run, Hernandez jumps up and spears that ball right in front of the Marlins bullpen in left center field. Great play by Hernandez, and there's one away in the bottom of the 5th.
Come away with nothing.
45 years. With so little rain, Pioneer Roofing calls this time of year roof repair season. Getting a tax refund? Reinvest that refund in your house or commercial property. Call Pioneer Roofing 786-ROOFERS. Tell them Jimmy Seville told you to call. Pioneer Roofing 786-ROOFERS or visit pioneerroofingcompany.com.
Here's 1-2. That one a called third strike, 99 on the inside edge, and Sandy Alcantara is looking like that guy. He paints gas, and we're through 5.
He paints gas.
You love that.
I really did. I never heard it said like that. So I did really enjoy that. I also enjoyed watching Sandy throw 6 shutout. I'd mentioned this before, guys. Kelly Sacco and Jack McMillan with me now on Marlins on Deck. The Rockies one, it's all right, okay, good. You're back on track. That's good. The Pittsburgh one last week, it was whoa, he might be back. What is the name of Sandy's start tonight, Jack, if he does go out and ends up going, 6 innings, less than 3 runs?
He's here. I think that's the one. So Pittsburgh could be he's back. I think Philly at home could be he's here. And this is a lineup that doesn't feature Bryce Harper, but you still look at it. Trey Turner is in this lineup. Bryson Stott is in this lineup. Kyle Schwarber in his 22 home runs already. Schwarber loves the month of June. That has been the thing about Schwarber throughout the entirety of his career. He's still in this lineup. So I feel like this is the he's here start. If he throws well today, I've got supreme confidence in Sandy Alcantara in every start he makes moving forward.
Okay, Kelly. I like that from Jack. He's here. That's the start name. Why is he here? How has he gotten here? You talked to Daniel Moskos.
I did. He told me prior to the start against the Rockies, they made a tweak in the bullpen. They said they were really noticing that he was missing on his arm side a ton. So they said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go into this bullpen. We're going to give you a lot of targets on the glove side. We got to get you back there. They said that's when they saw things really start to turn for him. Another thing, which I'm sure you guys have discussed because we've discussed it with Sandy a ton, is he went back to that sinker. Yep. He told me that he went back to his 2022 Cy Young Award winning season and he rewatched those starts. I asked him which ones in particular. He said the complete games, because that's the name of his game, right? Efficiency, getting a ton of ground balls, getting in, getting out. And he said he relied on his sinker a ton back in that year. So he went back to that too. So I think the combination of those two, now we're starting to see that confident Sandy again. And it's not just in the numbers, right? Because when you look at this lineup, as Jack was saying, we're going up a weight class here against 100%. The Phillies. Okay. Nothing against the Rockies, nothing against the Pirates. The Phillies are at a different level. Okay. So if he can manage this lineup, then he's here.
And I'm looking at some of these numbers, and they have it on the research tool. Trey Turner's hitting 351 career-wise against Sandy. Alec Boehm, 370 with 2 extra base hits, 10 for 27. So they have guys that have had experience against Sandy. Of course, being in the division, they've seen him a ton. Okay, I want to talk about the road trip, particularly the end to it. I want you guys to give me some trends that you saw, particularly in that Washington series, that you liked and you hope that they carry over. Miami does, not only today, but throughout this 7-game homestand. I don't care who starts.
I'll take it right now because I'm going to be quick. Productive outs. I love the sheer number of productive outs. Steven, your guy Wags, man. Come on, Sack Fly City.
Sack Fly with the Sack Flies. 7 RBIs on the trip.
Just amazing. I mean, Wagaman with productive outs. Dane Myers is spraying the ball around the ballpark. Augustine Ramirez is heating up again. Liam Hicks has been hot all year long. When are we going to start having real conversations about that guy right now? But they have enough guys that are hitting right now, like swinging a hot bat. I want to see productive outs get those guys across the plate, and I think that's where the rest of the lineup can really come into form. So productive outs for me was kind of the theme of the road trip.
I think to build on that too, it's team hitting. We mentioned, I mean, you went up and down the lineup. It was a new guy every single day. It's not they're relying on like a Kyle Stowers like they were very early in the year. It was all Stowers all day, every day. Stowers is struggling right now. However, he has his teammates who are picking him up, so you love to see it. So it's up and down the lineup. 3 games in a row, double-digit hits in every single one of those games.
Good number.
So every single game, double-digit hits up and down the lineup too. It's a new guy every day. And Liam Hicks, we're going to talk about this more during the game because he so quietly does things right. Mm-hmm. It's such a quiet production. Just everything he does, I think everything about him is just very quiet, but he gets it done. You turn around and you're like, whoa, look at this guy. He just keeps on hitting. So I'd have to agree with that. And just to add one more, I would like to see this more because the bullpen was fantastic. I would like to see them get a little break. Yeah. I would like to see.
I think we agree with that.
To see.
I think they would agree with that.
Starting pitchers go a little bit deeper. Let's help them out, shall we?
Yes, I would totally agree with that as well. Really cool part about the Marlins, like you guys have said, it has felt like it's been different guys. Augustine Ramirez hit a pair of home runs on Friday night. Dane Myers has been sensational, and it's just been production from each and every one of these guys in the lineup. And Kelly mentioned Liam Hicks. He's back in the lineup. He'll bat 7th and catch. You will hear Jack and Kelly in about 13 minutes, 6:40 first pitch, game 1 of 4. I don't know why I'm asking it like a question, but I'm going to break. I'm going to do Expo question and Steve's guarantee. Then we'll toss it over to these guys. That is next on the Marlins Radio Network.
Do again, the runners go, and that one is a line shot past the dive of Abrams into left center field, a base hit. You got Stowers scoring from second. Hernandez breaks it down at third base, and it's an RBI single for Nick Fortes. Insurance for the Marlins. Their lead up to 5. It's 7-2 here in the top of the 5th. 2-2. James Wood laces one out to left field and deep. Hernandez is back. Hernandez reaching up. Heriberto Hernandez makes the catch. On the run, Hernandez jumps up and spears that ball right in front of the Marlins bullpen in left center field. Great play by Hernandez, and there's one away in the bottom of the 5th. See
the 1-1. Liner in the air to center field. It'll get down for a hit. Sanchez scores from third base, and Liam Hicks continues his hot hitting. He walked in the first. He's got an RBI single here in the third to tie the score at 1.
Obviously through. Brad Lord may have a tougher job.
1-0 line drive pretty deep to right field. Call going back, looking up, and that ball is gone. Jesus Sanchez crushes a long home run just to the left of the Nationals bullpen. It's his 6th homer of the year, and Miami moves to 3-1 in the 7th over the Nationals.
With their traditional home whites, they go with this light blue City Connect top. 0-1 pitch. That one popped up right side of the infield, drifting into shallow right. Second baseman Garcia is calling for it, and Luis Garcia dropped the ball. Stowers comes in to score. Myers went to third base. Garcia nonchalantly was positioned to catch the final out of the inning, but he flat out dropped the baseball, and the Marlins add a run to their advantage. It's 4-1 here in the top of the 8th inning.
Marlins gangs, announcers, and more Marlins gangs. Get on the journey of the Marlins. Stream now.
All right, here we go. We are rocking and rolling on a Monday night, about 11 minutes away from first pitch. Game 1 of 4. Sandy Alcantara will go opposite Mick Abel. Steven Strom here. Kelly Sacco there. Jack McMullen there as well. Carlos back in the studio holding it down. I've preached authenticity and I've preached vulnerability, and I'm going to do that real quick. I wanted to take a minute to highlight 2 people that should be here today, Zach and Jude, who I lost 7 years ago today. And not a day goes by where I don't think about them. What they brought to this world was what we need more of: love, positive spirit, and passion. It's ironic because where I'm at right now is where they should be. Zach on the field and Jude in the seats. I appreciate you guys for giving me that moment. Let's get to our X-Poll question today at Marlins Radio. Sandy Alcantara captured his 44th win last week in Pittsburgh. That tied who on the Marlins all-time franchise list? Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio. Carlos, I fear it's time for Steve's guarantee.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's guarantees.
How are we going to talk all that smack about Sandy and then not back up a quality start? I like him to throw one here tonight. And Jack said it, this could be the Sandy is here start. This Phillies offense has been Jekyll and Hyde for the most part this year. They don't have Bryce Harper. The one guy, and I kind of pointed out James Wood in that National Series, don't get beat by him. Don't get beat by Kyle Schwarber tonight. And we saw Pittsburgh throw out only 3 lefties against Sandy in that start on Tuesday. Sandy's going to see 5 tonight in Rob Thompson's lineup. I still like Sandy, the way he's going, the way his confidence and where it's at right now. I lean towards Sandy collecting a quality start here tonight in Game 1. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Kelly Sacco, she's ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Marlins baseball. It's next on the Marlins Radio Network.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic.